Kris Jenner never made any comments about her son's recent overdose. Apparently, the whole family tried to keep Rob Kardashian's messy Christmas adventure, but once you start washing your dirty linen in public, there's no coming back, Kris. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. The Kardashian Jenner clan is always involved in some kind of a mess. However, this time, it's not about the infamous tape, cheating husbands, or scandalous divorces. The current problem seems to seriously damage the health of one of the most invisible family members, Rob. Due to a lack of family support, fans are worried about his well-being. Why keep it private this time? Stay with us until the end of this video to learn more. The news of Rob Kardashian being brought to the hospital unconscious with a pale face and blue lips right after Christmas Day wasn't published anywhere in the US tabloids. The first leaks appeared in European magazines in France and Spain. The sources mentioned that Rob overdosed on alcohol and oxy and behaved irrationally after waking up. As we know, the Kardashian family can't imagine their day without a scandal or two, but this time they decided to keep it private. Fans immediately sensed something dark in this story and accused the matriarch of the family, Kris Jenner, of hiding the truth and even paying the American tabloids to kill the story. However, thanks to the foreign media, we got information about Rob's unhappy Christmas adventure. A French blogger nicknamed Akabab with 815 followers and verification on Instagram made his own investigation and shared multiple details of this incident in his profile. He states that a reliable source from the US told him about Rob Kardashian's overdose on December 28, 2022. It's debatable whether this information is trustworthy at all. After all, it's very hard to hush such a scandal, especially considering the personalities involved in it. However, nothing appeared in the US media, so we had to translate Akabab's Instagram stories from French to learn the details. And let me tell you, something just doesn't add up. But see for yourself. The French blogger gives a lot of information about the incident, including the description of the scenes where Rob was shouting that he doesn't want his family fame and misses his child, while paparazzi were waiting outside the hospital but didn't leak any teases in the media because they were waiting for the approval from Kris Jenner, the mother of Rob. That seems insane, but if we trust this source, we can only wish Rob a fast recovery and pray that everything will eventually be okay with him. Apparently, the crown of his family fame is too heavy for the poor soul. Since Rob remains the most humble of the entire clan and hasn't been in the spotlight for quite a while, fans were worried when rumors about his ode over the Christmas holidays started to circulate. Why Kris tried to cover up this incident? Why there's nothing in the American tabloids while the rest of the world speaks about Rob and his supposed ode? Is it just another trick to protect the family's reputation, which already hit the rock bottom? Fans accused Kris Jenner of trying to kill the story in the US because she cares more about her public image than her own son. Is Rob someone to be ashamed of? People are getting worried because it's the first time when Rob's issues are ignored. Netizens recalled multiple incidents in the past when Rob was going through rough times but was completely neglected by his celebrity relatives, especially the most successful of them, Kim. If you're old enough, you may remember the time when Rob gained a lot of weight and was badmouthed on all social media for his non-Hollywood appearance. And the only person who was brave and supportive enough to have his back was his sister Khloe. While others were busy dealing with their messy lives, she found the courage to publicly shame the internet trolls. Here's what she wrote in her tweet on May 20, 2014. "Your words are cutting deeper than you know and are possibly leaving lifetime scars." Well said, Khloe. At the same time, the rest of his family, namely Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner, who has more influence over public opinion, chose not to react to this situation at all. Since there was complete silence from both of them, fans drew their own conclusions. Apparently, two women were ashamed of Rob and his looks because just a few days later, Rob wasn't present at his sister's glamorous wedding in Florence, Italy. There quickly appeared rumors that Kim herself asked her brother to skip the event because he simply didn't fit her ideal picture. Initially, Rob arrived in Florence with the rest of the guests, but was seen in the Italian airport in tears as he was trying to find an early flight back to the US. Kim denied all accusations about fat-shaming her brother and simply said that it was Rob who refused to stay and participate in her big day. As Kim later shared in her interview, her brother sent her an email saying he was leaving to fix some problems and there wasn't any argument between them, and most certainly, nothing about his weight was mentioned. Doesn't it sound like a credible explanation to you? Why was Rob leaving one of the most important days for his family on the verge of a nervous breakdown then? Wasn't there anyone who could comfort him? Like his entire family, for example. Well, if you didn't buy this lie, neither did the fans. Kim was again accused of body shaming her own brother, and even other media personalities commented about his messy emotional state, which he deals with on his own. While Khloe seemed to be Rob's only support, she eventually got tired of protecting him as well. The sources say that she kicked him out of her shortly after the incident at Kanye and Kim's wedding. It's said that Rob led a lazy life and his days were filled with nothing but junk food, video games, and weed. Yes, we can understand that a person may get tired of such behavior, but why no one wanted to see what's really hiding behind these actions? Didn't it ever occur to them that it might have been depression? But the final nail in the coffin of Rob's relationships with his family was the words of Kim, who said that everyone was working hard to make his life easier while he was doing whatever he wanted. She publicly suggested that the whole family should give up on him. Isn't that too harsh, Kim? Especially considering what Rob was going through. Apart from messy relationships with his family, Rob Kardashian was dealing with serious health issues. He was diagnosed with diabetes and received the sad title of the most tragic figure of the US. Most fame seeking family from one tabloid. The author of the article mentioned that it was nauseating to watch the TV show and see how Rob's real issues are being handled as the scenario of the show. For someone, this can be enough to push him to the edge. Despite all this dirt, Rob managed to get back in shape and completely disappeared from the limelight, having chosen to privately deal with his issues. Feels like everything worked out for him until the last Christmas holidays when he allegedly outed and his family decided to use their influence to hush the American tabloids. The most shocking part of the story is that the first reports about Rob's condition were made by French tabloids, while all American newspapers, which normally don't miss any chance to mention a new scandal related to the Kardashians, unanimously decided to keep silent. The French media described Rob's terrible state and behavior in detail, saying that he was brought to the hospital at 3 and unconscious with the signs of overdose, and later was cursing his ex-blac chyna and demanding to see his daughter. A large portion of this incident was covered by the French gossiper nicknamed Akababe. On his Instagram, the blogger posted a series of stories revealing the heartbreaking details. According to his secret US sources, Rob Kardashian was regretting his lavish life as a celebrity and wanted to die. It's uncertain who called his mother, but Kris and Khloe came to the hospital 45 minutes after Rob had been admitted. After having heard Rob's pleas about not being willing to go to rehab, the matriarch of the Kardashian family might have spoken to the hospital staff and used her influence to prevent any leaks to the media. It's said that Rob was discharged a few days later on New Year's Eve. However, no information about his time in the hospital was mentioned in the US press. This story gets darker and even more suspicious with the Kardashian family trying to distract fans' attention from this overdose incident. Kim posted several stories about Rob's brand, Halfway Dead, convincing her followers that he brought home a huge box of t-shirts from his new collection. There's actually a man's voice saying a couple of words in the background. But you can't fool people with these cheap tricks, can you, Kim? First of all, there's a discussion on Reddit where fans are trying to figure out what's happened to Rob and why all of a sudden his sister was taking interest in his life, which, let's be honest, she never did even on special days. Another suspicious thing is Rob's profile on Instagram, which is said to be under the control of his mother, Kris. On the day of his supposed discharge from the hospital, Rob or someone else published a new post, but fans immediately reacted with multiple questions about his well-being. You can still see the comments of the worried fans under his publication, which only proves that Ode was not a joke. But did Kris Jenner actually kill the story to save her family's public image? We wouldn't be surprised to learn that it's true. After all, Kris is a queen of PR and definitely knows what's better for the promotion of her family brand. The last thing she wanted after the recent scandals is another leak to the media about the horrors going on with Rob. Moreover, Kris actually has the power to stop any story from appearing in the tabloids. She's one of the closest friends of the TMZ founder and is said to be paying the paparazzi. Could she honestly sacrifice her son's well-being just for the sake of not seeing another bad story about herself in the press? Now, with the rumors going on, she and her daughters won't get rid of the fans who blame them for choosing their careers over Rob's mental state and physical health. One Twitter user commented, "Rob Kardashian odds and all his mother. The evil Kris Jenner cares about is the hashtag #KarJenner's reputation. Maybe if he wasn't ignored by his sisters, he would have a support system to deal with his custody battle." Lack of support and frequent bad-mouthing remain the main accusations thrown at the Kardashians right now. Someone on the internet conducted a thorough investigation and discovered a piece of video taken from the TV show where Kim says bad things about her brother on camera. Later, Rob confessed that he actually knew about the criticism, and it hurt him very much every single time. We can't help but agree. Hearing harsh words from your closest relatives may be hard, and lack of support can negatively influence a person's behavior. Despite being one of the Kardashians, Rob only receives words of worry from the fans. Yes, he grew up with the same privilege as the other family members, but he was never his mom's favorite just because he was born a boy. Not receiving enough support and respect from his family, Rob remains the unwanted personality in the Kardashians' game. The internet is, however, full of tremendous support for the guy. Remember, Rob lived with his dad his entire life until his dad passed. When he moved in with his mom, she said, "I only know how to be a mom to girls, not boys. Sad off. I feel for that guy." And another user wrote, "I'd be a mess if I had to grow up and be in the middle of this. Can't imagine what it's like. Kris capitalized on those girls. She's let them do unimaginable things for another rung up on the ladder of stardom. Emo. He doesn't deserve half of what he's been through. He's struggled because he was ignored or thrust into this sad spotlight." What do you think about Kris's desire to hide the possible odd of her son from the public? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel to learn more about your favorite celebrities first.